Welcome back. We have a guest in the studio. Kainde Idris is right here in the studio this morning. Good morning, and it's good to have you.
Good morning, Cecilia. It's good to be here. Good morning, Yemi.
Yeah.
Doing this during the day with you.
I was about to.
Yeah, sports tonight's crew. I get that.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm the alien now. But of course, I've had you on the show before, right? In the morning, so.
So I'm a friend with him and also with you now.
Good one. That's much better. So I feel safe and better now. Now, we had Paul Bassi on the show, yesterday talking about the league and all. We've been talking about all the leagues having a timeline. This is when they want to return, training and all that, waiting for government green lights. And when green lights comes, they just start and everything because they all have plans. He spoke extensively on the show, yesterday talking about, the one situation whereby for him, he wants to finish the league. Yeah. That's the first thing he said. I mean, it would be better for them to finish the league.
For everybody.
And fair for everyone so that you don't have some people aggrieved and all that. And also spoke about the fact that they also need to come up with a plan, something they can hold and say, okay, this is what we have.
When we get
when they get with green lights, they hit the ground running.
Exactly. I think that is the question a lot of persons or, personnel are asking what attached to the league. What's the breakdown plan? We're hearing there might be a Super 6, Super 8, neutral ground, the away, home and away. A lot of, proposal and all of that. But the strongest right now is the whole Super 6 or Super 8. And why some people are saying there might be no Super 6, it will be Super 8. Because a huge team like Kano Pillars is sitting 7th. So if you're playing a Super 6, Kano Pillars does not stand a chance to be there. And I think you want to have a Super whatever to accommodate the likes of Eyimba, the likes of Rangers, the likes of Aqua United, the likes of Plateau United, and then adding Kano Pillars. I think it will be, that huge. But talking about resumption, I like the sentiment. Now, sometimes we who are in sport tend to see sport as being out of the society. Yeah. Like sport is its own society, but sport is inside a society. Doesn't stand alone. And when it comes to the NPFL, it's inside the Nigerian society. Now, if the people of probably Akwa Ibom are saying, let's get back to playing football and all of that, it's because of what is happening in Akwa Ibom. There are no cases as much as, you want to go to Ogun State, you want to go to Lagos and all of that. I think before sports came on, the Cross River governor was also saying there are no cases in Cross River and all of that. So they are looking at their own society, not considering other people that will be flowing in or out, or probably if it will be on the ground where everybody will assemble. So if somebody from Ogun is coming, from Lagos, from Kano, from different parts assembling at a place, then even you are at risk. Those are the questions we need to ask.
I think the larger, you look at it, larger picture. Do we have the capacity? And I asked him that question yesterday, and he quite rightly, talked about a lot of things. Health and safety first.
Yeah.
And that's what he said.
First.
It comes first. He talked about, look, as much as we love to get back to football, we have to look at the situation. Yeah. Even though the minister, seems to have given a green light to, okay, it looks like we can still hold the sports festival this year. And he's saying, look, if the sports minister is thinking we can hold the sports festival this year, then probably football too can resume. But in all of that, health and safety first.
Health and safety. The sports festival that the minister mentioned is just with the way we're hearing cure, there might be a cure from somewhere.
So or there might be timeline.
Optimistic. Is not putting a time frame. He's not saying before the end of the year there must be the national sport. He's just saying, okay, with all of this.
But he said this year. He said this year.
He said so with all of this, we could have the we could have the NSF this year. It's just being optimistic, and that is what you should do. You shouldn't be all gloomy.
So why are we not talking about the league like that? If we could assemble, I mean, when I listened to Paul Bassi, it was really explicit because he went further to say that if you can assemble as much as 5,000 athletes that are going to travel across the nation to one state, so why not do the same with the league? Just look for a state that can have up to 3 stadiums and all that, where everyone will be in that state. You test everyone. You'll be in the same states, you don't have to travel home and away and all that to also mitigate, traveling expenses and all that, and also the spread if it's still around at that time and everything. So why not also have a plan, a timeline? This is what we can do in a situation like that. We are not hearing that at all.
Exactly, that's the question. You want to start the league, fine, but what are the breakdown?
We don't know anything.
We don't know. Go to, climbs. Before Germany got to play football, first thing was everybody sterilize your facilities and all of that. Then the manner at which players will resume to training, that was the second step. Then the manner at which they will train, that was the third step. Then when football resumes, how many people will be at the stadium? How will you accommodate them? A lot of breakdown, about 8, 9 breakdown. Now we're not talking about all of that. The Premier League, a lot of teams have 9 games to go. The likes of Aston Villa have 10 because they've got a match at hand. About 40,000 plus tests will be done for players before and after game, just for these 9 games to be played. Some people have come out to say the 40,000 plus is just the temperature test. Whether it's just the temperature test and all of that, I've seen a case where these people can be as religious as possible with all this breakdown. Are we ready? Do we have the personnel to carry this? Manpower. Are we religious with whatever breakdown? Because one lapse, one mistake, or one, lack.
It takes one case.
It takes one mistake or like a bicycle attitude from one person to get us back to status quo and, back to square one. And these are the questions. Are we ready for all of this?
So in conclusion, what are you saying?
We have about 13 games to go for Rangers. About 18. They've got 5 matches. Then I'm talking of Enyimba.
Yeah.
For Rangers, they've got a match. I think some other teams have two games. So, breakdown, we have 13 on the regular. Then we have some who have 18. And do we have the capacity? I am saying, I don't know, but there is nothing for me that I'm seeing at stake. Yes, we want to talk about Continental. We want to talk about league winners and all of that. The league winners in the past, what has been, aside having that bragging right, I am the league winner in so year. What has been the gain that you got from there? Then going into the continent, what has been special that the Nigerian teams have done? When we had 2 teams, we had 4 teams and all of that. It always seemed like we go there to come. Why not use this time to even look deeper to what are the issues we have?
In conclusion, you've not concluded.
In conclusion,
cancelled.
I do not want the league to start, at least now. I want every other league
I thought you were going to evade the question. Okay. All right.
Okay. In conclusion, I doesn't want the league to start. So it should be null and void. No champion, nothing. There was nothing like 2019, 2020 season.
Good. But if you cannot wait, then cancel this league. Just call it off. And then let's start. But I know politically, we don't want to tell that league.
All right. So we move on from that.
Yeah, before we talk about other leagues, quickly talk about, this story we started the show with this morning. That's Esther Oyema. If you know her, 4 years ago, she, Rio 2016 Olympics, she won the silver. There was a time she was trying to take the lift. I think she made a mistake, so she was furious. She wasn't happy. So that picture is still playing in my brain. That's the 55 kg where she won the silver in Rio powerlifting game. But then, it was time she also broke a world record, right? So that's why she's read to a former powerlifting champion. So she's been banned for 4 years after she committed an anti-doping rule violation. She won gold in London 2012 and the 48 kg and all that. And at the end of the day, in January 2019, it said after she competed at the international powerlifting competition in Nigeria, so they had to carry out some tests and discovered that, she had some banned substance.
Well,
okay, so she's been banned for
just how
4 years.
It just tells the story of how just one misstep, one mistake can just blot out all the good things.
Yeah.
I'm finding it very difficult to come to terms with this because the Esther I want to think about is someone who's done us proud. It's not this at all. But it's a blip. You can't look away from it.
Yeah, you can't look away from it. I can remember we were discussing, I think it was off air, Usain Bolt some years back. He was supposed to be in a race and he had about 15 people, attending to different parts of what he's to do. Somebody's carrying his spikes. Somebody's attending to him psychologically. Somebody is his physio. About 15 scattered. Now, these are athletes we're talking about. They almost themselves think about everything.
Yeah.
They almost. So it is easy for you to come out and say, I didn't know about this, I didn't know about that. A lot of claims in that. Now, another angle, 2019 January, a urine sample was taken, which, finally led to this, discovering the banned substance after doing a whole lot for Nigeria. 4 years ban came out. I go back to Choma Ajunwa. It is always easy to hear about banned substance and then they got banned for years or lifetime and all of that. But we hear of athletes from some other parts of the world. These cases are dragged for 5, 6 years, keep going back and forth and all of that. What is the Athletics Federation doing on this case? What is the Paralympian setup doing about this case? It is always very easy when you don't have anybody to fight for you for that ban to come out. They just go ahead, sit, and say, oh, she's got a ban substance. Yes, it was from last year, and this year pronouncement and all of that. But I've seen cases, same ban substance, even some very obvious. Yeah. You hear sitting after sitting after sitting after sitting. But when this pronouncement came, trust me, it will just be everybody sit back.
She becomes an orphan.
She becomes an orphan. Everybody sit back, serve your 4 years, and then probably if you can still come back, she's about 29 now. I don't know if she can still... 38, sorry. 38.
Yeah, she's 38.
I don't know if she can still... I don't know what kind of human...
4 years, I mean.
What kind of human...
So like it's all over.
Who is fighting these causes? I'm not saying she did not take a banned substance.
Neither are we saying what she did is good.
It's good. But I'm saying I've seen it severally where people stand up for. Marion Jones comes to mind. I know how many years this whole thing
before
took.
She finally on her own admitted that, look, I actually did this.
So, we find ourselves in this.
Even Lance Armstrong,
you can go ahead and name names.
Before, because a lot of people stood in the gap, gave the benefit of doubt. That is what I think you're asking for, that I support.
Exactly.
This could be
Oscar
a mistake.
Pistorius killed. Murdered.
Although that's an extreme.
Yes. No, I'm just saying, as extreme as that is, we hear back and forth on the issue from like 2013. It kept coming and, going and all of that. So we find ourselves in a situation where nobody fights.
It's hard to look away from what has happened.
Yeah.
But we can't just throw away the baby with the bathwater.
Of course.
Because this is someone that's been very productive.
She has done so well for us.
For Nigeria. So, and that is why before I begin to blame anybody from the Paralympic Committee, I've not heard any statement.
No statement.
That is what will guide me
as
to what to say. But something has to be said.
It has to be said.
She can't be abandoned.
Are you coming out to say, okay, she did it, she has to serve?
I just throw her to the door.
Something has to be said. And this is one lacuna we've always, come across, especially as journalists. We sit here, we don't hear anything. A huge matter is on ground. And the people are meant to, drop those statements and not doing it. And the people out there will just draw their conclusions
straight
away.
And
we'll be here fighting it.
All right. Let's leave it and just hopefully if she can appeal, well, we don't know what's going to come. Appeal might happen and reduce and all that.
Maybe she gets backdated. I don't know. Just
It's
something.
been backdated from May last year, so she's already 1 year. So she has
maybe
3
some
more
sort of
years
a reprieve. I don't know.
3 more years to serve.
I know these cases they have. Man City is still, talking about the ban.
Okay, let's move away from that.